They're idiots. I don't like it.
And I think it would just destroy the small little village that we've got here.
We want to see housing in our neighbourhoods, in our cities, in our regions.
I think there's a water coming down the road. This is very
This is very Taplow.
Yeah.
Then you have to have that infrastructure, otherwise it creates chaos.
Welcome to Taplow. This sleepy village in South Buckinghamshire should become one of Labour's new towns according to YIMBY campaigners. So we've sent our housing correspondent Vicky Spratt here to investigate.
YIMBYs think it's the perfect location for thousands of new homes. It's on the Elizabeth line, it's near Heathrow. But what do local people think about this tiny little place being turned into a construction site?
We all know that there is a housing crisis. The new Labour government has pledged to fix that by building 1.5 million new homes over the next 5 years. Like the politicians who rebuilt Britain after the Second World War, they want to do this by building the next generation of new towns across the country. Each new town will be made up of at least 10,000 homes, some of which must be affordable. But not everyone wants new housing and the extra traffic it brings in their backyard. Deciding where to put new towns is one of Labour's biggest challenges yet. A think tank called UK Day One think that they have an answer. They've suggested 4 new town locations to the government, and Taplow is a particular site of interest to them.
I'm Kane Emerson, I'm Head of Housing Research at YIMBY Alliance, and I'm here in Taplow because I wrote a paper suggesting this as a perfect location for a new town. Well, simply put, it's got excellent rail connections to other settlements, so you've got Slough and Maidenhead nearby, you also have London, so that means that any new homes that are built here will be really high quality, perfectly located for workers going into work. And we know that the government is really focused on economic growth, and that's great, but it's not the new homes that grow the economy, it's the workers who live in those. So we want to ensure that workers are in the right places.
What would you say to any local residents in Taplow who don't want this to become a new town, who like it how it is?
Yeah, I understand some of the concerns about new development. I think particularly over the past, 15 years where austerity has really set into government and public services, and people are frightened about new development coming into their area because they think it means that there's going to be longer queues at the GP or school place shortages. I think it's important to deal with that. And actually the best way to deal with some of those issues is by building in places like Taplow. Just outside Taplow has really high land values, and the government can capture more of that value to pay for really important services locally like the GP and schools.
UK Day One's plans seem to look good on paper. The think tank's report even includes generated images of how new housing might look here. But convincing local people who live in this peaceful place of just a few thousand residents to accept thousands of new houses is not so straightforward.
I would go no, I wouldn't go for new housing at all. We can't park our car anyway, and there's not enough schools, the doctors is very hard to kind of book in, and so I would vote no.
They're idiots. I don't like it, and I don't think they've thought it through.
I really like it here, so I can see why a lot of people would want to move here. One of the reasons why it's kind of nice is it's a little bit quieter. So of course, if you had loads of people moving here, you might not preserve that. But I'm, conscious of kind of NIMBYism and stuff. And we need more houses. We need more good places for people to live. It's getting crazy in London. That's why I moved out.
Do you own your house?
Yes, I do.
Do you worry about future generations not being able to
Oh,
own?
absolutely, yeah. I think we've lost our way in this country, to be honest with you.
So if I told you we need to build homes so that young people can buy houses like you did, would that change how you feel about them being built in this area?
Of course, I'd like you to all have the opportunities I had, but forgive me for my honesty. When I was growing up, the older people used to say that we weren't tough enough. And now I've grown up, I'm saying that you're not tough enough. But you haven't been given that opportunity, you've been wrapped up in cotton wool.
What if they built some more schools, a new GP surgery or 2?
Then I'd think about it. I think it's just a small little village, everybody knows each other, and I think it would just destroy the small little village that we've got here.
What do you think about your kids though? Do you worry that they'll never be able to afford to buy a house?
Mine can't.
If some of the homes that were built here were affordable and it meant they could live closer to you, would that sway you?
That is a kind of difficult one. So I'd like in the long run to think that, children of now, they could stay in the area, then I'd vote yes for that one. But they need to up schools and doctors and, just small bits would be advantage to Taplow Village. But at the moment, I'd still say no.
I think the houses around here are like marginally cheaper than London, but also like they tend to be kind of bigger, so you can't find something on the lower end of the kind of entry level thing so easily. They come up very infrequently, I think. Yeah.
So you would benefit from some new houses?
Potentially, yeah.
But you wouldn't want them to spoil the quiet, the peace, all the reasons you moved out here?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, and I think one of the nice things about here is that you tend to have a little bit more space. Like I like, having a little courtyard that we've got now. We wouldn't have had in a flat before. Oh, there's a horse coming down the road. This is very Taplow.
This is very Taplow.
Yeah.
Still no houses in Taplow?
Not here. Look what you've got. You've got a beautiful little village with a lovely school there, a beautiful church there. The atmosphere is quiet. Why would we want to disrupt people's lives by chucking a load of people in?
YIMBYs like Kane can be quick to dismiss those who are unsure about house building as NIMBYs. But new housing needs to be planned. Would Taplow's existing roads and schools even be able to support all of these new houses?
So talk me through what you're facing in Taplow. How many doctor surgeries have we got? How many schools have we got?
None. Yeah. We have nothing. The pub here is the biggest business around, basically.
Looking at some of the plans, didn't look really feasible, like they hadn't been thought through. Infrastructure, a lot of that is the main problem, and that is the main worry, I think, for a lot of people in the area. We're not averse to housing, We think there should be new housing everywhere. It's certainly a necessity. But it has to be realistic and it has to be viable.
We've had a lot of development in Taplow, and all of it is almost invisible. We've doubled our population, and it hasn't affected the character of the place because we work very hard with developers to get it right. So we are absolutely in favour of effective development. We've got a good track record. This, however, is on such a huge scale compared with all of that I think you have to look at that in a very different light.
Then you have to have that infrastructure, otherwise it creates chaos. There's not enough parking at the moment. You talk about the Elizabeth line, but that attracts already people travelling from Beaconsfield and afar to come and park at Taplow because it's cheaper to go from Taplow into London. So if you're going to increase by a hell of a lot more, then the infrastructure has to be there as well, doesn't it?
The battle to end Britain's housing crisis is playing out right here in Taplow, following UK Day One's suggestion that a new town should go here. Most people accept that we need more new homes in this country, but Labour's job will be to convince them that they're going to build houses properly, with enough schools and doctors' surgeries to support the people who live in them.